we learn, we pass along. Yes, Dupree?
You stated earlier about the interchangeability of light and darkness.
Right.
And then there's also a statement about how the universe is a playground for, I guess, the soul, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm getting at, in one way of looking at it, you said you got the dark side and you got the light side, and you got individuals, like in movies like Darth Vader, he represents the dark side, or the magician, the dark magician, something like that. But these characters, just like light needs darkness, darkness needs light, or they're all relative. So is there some kind of exchange going on that you need, just like God needs the devil? If God didn't need the devil, God would be unemployed. In other words,
if there is such
devil,
a thing.
Right. In other words, the devil represents the dark side, but yet still that darkness is light. Like you're saying.
Comparison is what you're talking.
Yeah,
comparison is necessary for our growth, and here is the spectrum again. Those of you who did not get it, this yellow band in the middle here is what our senses perceive. This is the visible spectrum. But look at the spectrum itself. It has, what is this? Radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-ray, and gamma. Okay? And the visible spectrum is this color range here. The 7 colors of the spectrum is all that our eye can perceive, right?
Right.
So, we said light and darkness is relative, because on this earth everything is relative, correct? Because there are beings that can see in this spectrum, all of this spectrum, and there are bees and birds. The student did a lot of research who actually function in the ultraviolet range, because their plumage, the males have ultraviolet colors on their plumage to attract the female birds that our eye cannot see. So it is relative in that sense that there are beings in the animal kingdom. And what about the clairvoyants who see in the astral light, which is not visible to my eye because their inner eye is open, okay, is active. Mine is dormant, or however we want to put it, okay? We all have the same powers in us, but some of us have not activated these powers yet. And its activation is dependent on these expressions here listed, okay? So it is relative. What is light to you might not be light to the other person, because the other person is able to see in what we call, quotation mark, darkness. But the secret doctrine darkness does not refer to that relative darkness. It refers to the primordial divine darkness which exists from eternity to eternity in the absolute, because it does not require any condition for its existence. It's there, whether there is activity to perceive it, in other words, beings of different grades to perceive that light within the darkness, or otherwise. They're both there. The darkness exists prior to light because light emanates from it. In our physical world, it becomes the light that we see in the universe. All of the systems, by the way, have their own sun, because it's necessary to channel that energy of the spiritual sun into the physical world. Yes, Gabrielle?
Yes, with the color. At a certain point you mentioned the color and the angel in charge of color.
Yes, archangels. Yes.
So how does, because, we are different, so,
We're not different. We're from them. The Diane Chohans of the secret doctrine are considered, the archangels are our spiritual progenitors, because in the secret doctrine she tells us this is related to the Diane Chohanic army. In other words, they channel the light energy through themselves. She says the beings the self-existent beings in the sun. This is in the Secret Doctrine. I can't read all of it, neither can I bring it to your attention, but this student has read it. In other words, the Dayan Chohans are the beings in the sun that channel the light. In their collectivity, she says in the Secret Doctrine, they're called Daivi Prakriti, meaning white light. And she explains these powers to us, if I can find it, because I did not mark it. It's in here. She explains it as the gifts that we get from the Dayan Chohanic host. Each color is representative of one level of consciousness in you. This student does not know what that is, okay? You have to figure out for yourself, because I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, this. Okay, Dupree, do you know where those powers are listed? The mantramic.
Chris Shakti and all those things?
Yeah.
In the front.
Where?
In the front.
In the front. She lists them as a. I can't. Where is it? I don't know. I didn't mark the page. It's at the end of. Is it at the end of 289? 189? Yeah. I found it. Here, it is on page Gabrielle, page 292 of the Secret Doctrine. She says, Parasakti, Jnana Sakti, Icha Sakti, Kriya Sakti, Kundalini Sakti, Mantrika Sakti are the powers each Dayan Chohan gives us as a gift, because they give the level of consciousness that is relevant to their realm, because they have 3 elemental worlds: the mineral, botanical, which is the vegetable, animal, and man. In man, she says, it gives us the 49 fires, which are the 49 levels of consciousness, 7 primaries, and then each one is subdivided into 7. And at the bottom she says, modern science has but partly investigated the first, which is supreme force of power of light and heat. Second, which is the power of intellect, wisdom, or knowledge, which is Jnana Sakti. And the 5th, which is Kundalini Sakti, the power or force that moves in a curved path. Electricity and magnetism are but manifestations of it, but is altogether in the dark as regards the remaining powers which we just listed. The 6 forces are in their unity, represented by Daivi Prakriti, the 7th, which is the white light that comes through the logoic center, which is the Dhyani Chohanic, this host. These are gods, not one god. Gods in the sense that they give light and life to this universe of ours. So these beings are the entities, divine entities in the sun. The Bible refers to them as archangels. In the Secret Doctrine, Dayan Chohanic host. In the Kabbalah, they are referred to as the Elohim. And she calls the sun Surya. So if you want to go read it, Surya, the Sanskrit name. I'm sorry, I have taken a lot of time, but you wanted questions answered.
No, this is wonderful.
So, yeah. Thank you.